Today we are talking about something I feel very strongly about: physical wholeness, becoming at peace with our bodies. This isn't something that happens overnight, and I can't even say that I'm all the way there, but I could talk about this for days. Let's get into it. Welcome back to your Emotional Support Podcast. This is your host, Noelle Rizzio, and I just wanted to start off this episode by saying thank you. Honestly, I am truly grateful that you are listening. I'm a counselor, so I'm used to listening, not talking, and I'm certainly not used to all this editing stuff and all that goes on. I'm learning and I'm getting better, but I really appreciate you being here and showing up, and I will continue to show up for you too. So let's dive into today's topic: physical wholeness. This is going to be a 2-part series, and I need these episodes as reminders to myself also. So today's episode, we're going to be focusing on cherishing our body with sleep and movement. And this is really the foundation of physical wholeness. Next week, we're going to talk about more like nutrition and nourishment, but sleep and movement are so important. And it is love in action for your body. Like it is like it's your gift to your body. So this definitely is not about how our body looks. It's about how we care for our body. So we are going to dive into sleep and purposeful movement today. So first we're going to talk about sleep and why sleep is foundational to physical and emotional well-being. So sleep is nourishment. I know I said we're going to talk about nourishment next week, but that's like food nourishment. Sleep is your body's reset. It's your body's way to reset itself and regenerate. It is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Okay? Babies sleep, right? They sleep to grow. They sleep because that's what their body needs, right? We need that as grown-ups too. We need to rest. We need to sleep. Signs that we are under rested and how that affects our emotional bandwidth. So we might be not getting enough rest if we have daytime sleepiness, difficulty concentrating, mood swings, increased fatigue, needing more caffeine, experiencing brain fog, having trouble with memory, waking up feeling unrefreshed, and needing multiple alarms. Okay, these are all red flags. But at the same time, I feel like I am experiencing all of these in perimenopause. So let's, take all of this with a grain of salt, that different stages in our life require different attention to different things. So anyway, because all of these things, brain fog, memory trouble, so if we're feeling excessively sleepy or drowsy during the day after we've gotten what we feel like is an adequate amount of sleep, then this is an indicator that overall we're not getting enough rest. Not enough consistent rest for our body. Trouble focusing and processing information, that can be a sign of some sleep deprivation. Irritability, anxiety, depression, or general moodiness. This can be, just my normal Thursday, or it could be that I'm not getting enough rest. Increased fatigue, feeling drained or having a lack of energy throughout the day, even after a full night's sleep. Needing more caffeine or relying on caffeine and energy drinks throughout the day. That brain fog, that mental fog and difficulty being able to think clearly, or having a hard time communicating. These can, again, be just a normal Thursday, or you might have some sleep deprivation depending on the time of your life. just trouble remembering like daily events or recently learned information, this can also be inadequate sleep. And then just waking up not feeling like you've really gotten a good night's sleep, even if you like feel like you should feel rested. And then needing multiple alarms or hitting the snooze button. And I tell you what, my husband has like 6 alarms and he sleeps through all of them. Like I literally have to hit him to wake him up. And he claims that he can get by on like 4 hours of sleep a night. But I beg to differ. But anyway, that's a conversation for another time. So what can we do? How can we get better sleep? We need to have those like wind down rituals. Things that like calm us down. Screen boundaries. We talked about time boundaries a few episodes ago. We also need like screen boundaries. Where do we have our screens? Or is there like a time limit that we shut off our screens? Having a consistent sleep schedule. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day is incredible for your sleep, even on the weekends, to really regulate that circadian rhythm. Having a relaxing bedtime routine. I find that I fall asleep much easier and get much better sleep if I like read right before I go to bed or do like my daily meditation right before I'm falling asleep instead of like that doom scrolling right before I'm trying to fall asleep. The outcome is much better if I'm doing something more calming. I like to trick my mind into thinking that doom scrolling or like checking all the things is relaxing, but it's really not, because then it gets me thinking about this or that or what I need to do, or it doesn't relax my mind. It just amps my mind up even more. So I need to do things like reading or meditation or something that signals my body that it's time to turn the switch down a little bit. And then just optimizing your sleep environment, making sure that your bedroom is dark and quiet and cool. So it is April right now and I live in the Midwest and it's cold for April lately, but I refuse to have the heat on, and it's been like considerably cold, and I will wake up and it's like frosty out and we have not had the heat on in my house. I haven't told anyone in my family that I've done this though. But it's so nice. Like we all get great sleep those nights when it's just like chilled in the house. We all have adequate blankets and things, so we're fine. We have blackout curtains in all of our bedrooms. My son wears earplugs sometimes. We, just anything that works for you to kind of create that cool, quiet, dark environment. Avoiding stimulants before bed like caffeine or nicotine or alcohol, right before you're going to bed is really good for your sleep. Avoiding large meals before bed. I know I'll be laying in bed like watching a movie or something, and then I'll like get hungry and want to go down and get a snack. But I try to avoid that because that can disrupt your sleep if you eat too close to bedtime. Getting regular exercise can improve your sleep quality, which we'll kind of talk more about that in a minute, because I don't really believe in the word exercise. I did air quotes there. I know you can't see me. But managing your stress. Managing your stress is so huge for getting good sleep, especially those of us that have like those ruminating or like spiraling thoughts when we're trying to fall asleep, and we just get that that vicious cycle of like, or this is what I need to do tomorrow. Why did I say that today? And it just keeps like ruminating in your head. If we're managing our stress in healthy ways, then those are less frequent and less likely to keep us up. And then this is huge, is creating a sleep-friendly bed. Oh my gosh. How many of you have like the best bed? And you've got like, it's so cozy and comfy, and your mattress is like the perfect firmness, and you've got like the big fluffy comforter that you can just like snuggle up with, and like 8,000 pillows. Like, that is my dream. My bed, I purposefully make that like the most comfortable place in the house. And my son even says, he's like, this is the best bed in the world, because that's what I want. I want it to be the most comfortable place, because that is where I need the most comfortable place to be, is my bed. So that is sleep. So important. I cannot talk to you anymore about how important sleep is. You just have to like really do it and then realize how important it is. Like, I am 44 years old, but I get told, and this is not a brag, but I get told on a regular basis that I look so much younger. And I cannot equate that to anything except for the fact that I have gotten probably 8+ hours of sleep every night for like my entire life, aside from when I brought my son home from the hospital. And I literally honestly think, like, I don't do any crazy skincare routine or anything like that, but I have, knock on wood, very minimal wrinkles, and I equate that to good sleep and hydration. But we'll talk about hydration next week. But sleep is so important, and I guarantee you, if you get regular sleep, you will feel so much better. Okay, now we're running out of time, but movement, I talk about purposeful movement. I don't like the word exercise. I don't like the word working out. I like the words movement and purposeful movement. Integrating purposeful movement into your life, okay? Not making it a chore, like, oh, I have to go work out. Oh, I have to go exercise. But just really showing up for your body, to reward your body for all the things that it does for you. If you have kids, your body did that for you, right? Obviously, unless they are adopted or you used a surrogate, which is equally as wonderful. I'm not trying to take that away. I'm just trying to make a point about how much our body does for us. It does so much for us. Movement and incorporating that into our day is really just rewarding our body, making sure that we are taking care of our body in the way that it takes care of us. Do you think about breathing every day? Do you think about breathing every second? Do you think about, cell reproduction? Do you think about, your reflexes and, your involuntary movements or anything like that? No, because your body just does that. It takes care of you. And movement is a way for you to repay that. So if you think about it that way, then it's not such a job or a chore, right? We need to find like joyful, restorative movement. Things that bring us joy instead of making us feel like it's a chore. Okay. I have really found that I really enjoy walking, and my son has found that he really enjoys it too. And now we like go on walks together and have the best conversations. He's 10, and oh my gosh, the little chatterbox when we go on walks. So that is like my new favorite thing. But also, like, when the weather is not nice, I save like TV shows that I really want to watch or that might not be appropriate to watch. Like when my son's around, like The Handmaid's Tale or You. Oh, that new season's coming out this week. But like shows like that I'll save and only watch those when I'm like walking on the treadmill, because I don't love walking on the treadmill. I love walking, but walking on the treadmill isn't my favorite thing. So I will save those shows for walking on the treadmill. So then that kind of motivates me. But like yoga or Pilates, I really love Pilates, and I wish that I had time to get back into that. But just finding something that you love to do, whether it's dancing around your house or, doing gardening or any kind of anything that you enjoy that gets you up and moving. That is good for your body. It impacts your mood, your stress level, your confidence. Okay, I'm going to ask you to do something for me. Do some consistent movement for 1 week. And I just want you to note how different you feel mentally and emotionally that week that you have incorporated some consistent movement into your week. And I'm not going to give you a number. I'm not going to give you oh, you have to do this many minutes in this many days, because that ruins it. Okay, I'm not going to do that to you. I want you to find something that you enjoy that you can incorporate into your day and make that your movement and your gift to yourself and to your body, because that's the only way that it's going to work. Because it doesn't work the other way. If you force yourself to go to the gym at 5 o'clock every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're going to burn yourself out because you don't like doing it. Unless that's what you like doing, then that's fabulous and that's what you should do. Okay? But find your version of what moves you. Okay? And that is the point. All right. We have talked about this first part of physical wholeness today. And again, this is my soapbox that I get onto, and you're going to see me on my soapbox in the next episode, because that's when I really get into it. But society has created this like unattainable version of who it thinks we all need to be, and it's just bullshit, and it makes me so angry. And we need to get back to cherishing who we are and who we are as natural women and natural human beings that all have different shapes and sizes. And it's not about what we look like, it's about how we feel about ourselves, right? And how we're taking care of ourselves. So that is today's episode. We're going to talk about nourishment and nutrition and how we feed our bodies with care next week. Today's reminder you didn't ask for, but definitely need: your body is not a project. It's a home. I am so glad you're here. I'll see you next time.